Hello, today we are discuss about the impedance and the radiation resistance, how it will be find out from the radiated field of an metallic wire antenna. First of all, when the time varying electric field are carrying across the length of the metallic wire and due to the Faraday's law and in with this Ampere's law, we can find out the magnetic field as well as the electric field associated due to the flow of the current inside the conductor or the outside of the surface of the conductor. Actually, the frequency is going to high, the current are basically flow across the surface of the conductor. So therefore, if the diameter of the conductor is very less, therefore we can say that this current distributions of the conductor is almost homogeneous. And also we are also find out from the divergence law that the how much the electric potential or the magnetic vector potential can be created due to that flow of electrical current inside this conductor. Now we are going to this next slides where we are already taken care of this propagations of the electric field in the transverse electromagnetic waves, that is TEM modes of the electromagnetic wave propagation. The attenuations will be basically as given as the propagation factor, whereas the wave factor will be which is almost equal to or you can say it is the same for the TEM mode, the propagation constant, and therefore the gamma value of this will become as a k into L by 2, where the L is the basically length of the antenna. Here we are basically talking about the dipole antenna, means the lambda by 2 dipole antenna, which is known as a Hertzian dipole antenna. In that case, we have also find out our E theta and H phi from the magnetic vector potential in our previous classes, and there we can find out the only existence of E theta, that is elevation component of the electric field, persists, whereas the other two component of the electric field E phi are simply not present due to the presence of the magnetic azimuthal component of the magnetic field, and the ER is present only in the near field, but in the far field conditions this has no significant effect. Therefore, we can say only the elevation component is dominated by the E theta, which is nothing but the decaying amplitudes of the field as well as the time varying component. And similar way, the magnetic component is also associated with this time varying component as well as the exponentially decaying part. So these two fields, electric field and magnetic field, one is basically in the elevation component, then another is basically give you the azimuthal component, and these component when propagated in an metallic wire, that is it created basically the electric and the magnetic distributions of the field. That magnetic distribution of field will become maximum at the end, or whereas it is become almost zero at the center of the dipole, and it is just reverse of the current distribution. Current distribution becomes zero at the end of the conductor because at a discontinuity of there, and it is become maximum at the center of the component. That's why V and I, that is voltage and the current distribution in the metallic wire of a dipole antenna, are just opposite in nature, and it created the magnetic vector potential, and from that we are derived the electric field. Actually we are talking about of the electric field. So in the direction of the electric field basically gives us the polarity of the antenna. That's why the field TEM mode polarity, how in either it is in horizontal, vertical or circular or elliptical, whatever may be, we are basically talking it about the terms of the electric field condition. So what is the alignment of the electric field is our point of interest, and if it is along the horizontal, then the condition is that the horizontal polarized electric field. If it is a vertical, it will be a vertically polarized electric field, and our transmitter and receiver should be along the same direction, so that the polarity mismatch should be avoided. Normally the electric field alignment, either it is in horizontal or it is vertical, is known as a linearly polarized condition. Another type of the polarity is which is very much used for our today's communication, that is called a circularly polarized. That means both the component, that is E theta and E phi, should be the same in amplitude as well as they are 90 degree out of phase, because it is not only 90 degree, 90 degree is known as the dual polarized. It will be all direction, that is it 45 degree, 135 degree, everywhere in the space it should be homogeneous. And that's why if I rotated our mobile handset or etc., even any kind of satellite communications or wireless communication, satellite rotations will be there. Mobile can be handled in any azimuth or elevation component, elevation direction, so that the same amount of electric field should have to be received. So circularly polarized, whenever going to be circularly polarized, both the E theta and E phi, the amplitude should be same. And we are going to some little bit of animated form of this field, how it is going to be propagated according to these changes of this current distribution, that is the flow of current. Actually it is become 0 and then it will become maximum, again how it is going to be, and the electric field or how it is changes, according to that it will be looking like this here. Very easy to understand here, where we can say that how the electric field become one is the maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum, and that's why the electric field will be generated, and the voltage will be also the reverse of the current distribution, etc., etc. So this is a very easy way to understand how our electric field is generated due to the flow of current in a metallic wire or red dipole antenna. So I am going to next slides, where if it is a metallic dipole antenna, therefore if its direction is indicated by E theta, that is basically the elevation component of the electric field, then the Y component is given by H phi, that is elevation component of the magnetic field. Therefore the propagation vector will be just E cross H, that is actually the Z directions. And as the H phi component is there, so H phi component is almost in a circular pattern, and it will be given as like that way. This is the H field, that is H phi component or the azimuthal component of this pattern or the radiation pattern in the far field pattern. And the same way the elevation component is almost circular, but there is a dip at the both sides is there, and therefore it is looking like a figure of 8, and both the things will be E theta and E phi are radiated simultaneously, so that the 3D pattern will be looking like a figure of a donut shape like that. There will be some two poles are there, and we have to be use this radiation type of component for any kind of wireless communication. This is a standard dipole antenna radiation pattern, and using this radiation pattern already we have discussed how this radiation pattern are useful for any kind of communications, because it is basically and linearly polarized, either horizontal or vertical to receive. So according to that our electric field component, this is the electric field pattern, so electric field component direction will be leads to that. The next things, our interest of things, that is the gain of the antenna. If the gain of the antenna is high enough, it's actually give us the how far our signal can go for. For an example, for satellite communication, I can say in our Indian scenario, if it is 37,000 kilometer away from the Earth surfaces, it's required almost is equal to 28 dBi minimum 28 dBi gain. It will be better taking some loss or something air. This is air losses or due to some receiver losses, etc., etc. That is called, as well as the technical term is called the link budget calculation. Our gain of the antenna should be more than 34 dBi, including cable losses or etc., etc. So our gain should be have to be enhanced. So one of the common thing to increase the gain is to increase the length of the antenna, that is the aperture of the antenna should have to be increases. So if I increases the aperture of the antenna, want to increase the aperture of the antenna, then more and more antenna should have to be in arrays form. Similar way, they have if I want the more gain of an amplifier, I have to cascade more number of amplifier. So that's why same things is also used here. If I want to go, if I want to increase the gain of the antenna, I have to be making an arraying form of that. And also in our analysis purposes, we also told that the gain of the whenever we are calculated the dipole antenna, it is basically the summations or of the infinitesimal small antenna. In case of some infinitesimal small antenna, I have to find out that the lambda by 10 is a very small antenna. The 3 dB beam width, that is 3 dB beam width is nearly about 90 degree, whereas for the lambda by 4, the quarter wavelength antenna, it is a 87 degree, and most common antenna which is we are basically used for today's almost all type of this dipole antenna used for lambda by 2 dipole antenna, that it is 78 degree. Though the practical purposes, it is theoretical value, definitely it is the theoretical value of it is 78 degree, but the practical value is comes near about 72 to 73 degree. It's available is there because due to some scattering effect, etc. And again we have to going to be increase this antenna, the beam width also going to be decreases, and also if it is a length of the antenna is become lambda, therefore the gain of the will be more, as because of this bandwidth is going to be decreases more. That's why we are in this pattern distribution we are taking here. This is basically the lambda by 15 dipole antenna radiation pattern. This is the radiation pattern for the lambda by 4. Again this is for the lambda by 2, and this is for the lambda by 4, and finally this is we are achieve for the lambda antenna. Again if you are going to more value of the lambda, more value of the 2 lambda, 3 and 4 lambda, this pattern will be more sharp enough, so the will be directive gain will be increases because of the decrement of this bandwidth. As the bandwidth is going to be decreases, actually the gain of the antenna are going to be increases because the radiation field are actually in a particular direction. Suppose the gain of the antenna is like that way, I am saying that like that way. If the antenna radiation pattern is like that, I am taking the 1/2 of the cycle only. So the total radiation pattern or 3 dB beam width is like that way. So this is the 3 dB beam width, I can say. If the same amount of energy is going to be beam width is going to be decreases, like the same amount of energy can be like that way, because the area of this is covered by this, there is a total energy should be equal to the area covered by this. So if it is like that, so it will be more longer than that. So again we are going to be 3 dB beam width like that way, so it will be go the further distance rather than the previous one. So if the beam width is going to be decreases, you can say that the first cases the beam width is all like this, it is a more flattened pattern, whereas the second one is giving you the more sharper beam width, means the degree of beam width is going to be decreases, so the gain of the antenna will increases and it will go the further distance, like it will for the first cases, that is black this cases, it will go up to this distance, whereas this portion, that is this second one, can go the further distances. So if I go, we can communicate it this amount of further distance if the increment of this pattern are there. So total more amount of antennas array, that is the length of the antenna are going to be increases, means I can communicate it the further distances as well. But there are some problem is associated with that, that is called the impedance of the antenna. Next slide, I am coming that how the previously I was just talking about the directivity. The directivity of the antenna is actually calculated over the total amount of energy radiated over the space, and it is becomes as like that way. So the radiation, total radiation coming from an antenna is basically is coming later. If you taking this integrations, calculated it will be I is basically the how much current is going there, and or if definitely if I value is going to be increases, means that the more the radiations will be there. But for the same value of I, how I can transmit the our signal more distant, this is the technical challenge, because more I means the more energy will be losses, more power will be losses. So using the same power, how I can increase this more pattern, that is only way to increase the length of the aperture length, because if I put the L value in here, I can find out this calculated that this radiation pattern, and from that I can also define that 3 dB beam width or the half power beam width are there. So so the directivity is basically defined as the particular radiation from a particular direction, that is the 3 dB radiation pattern in which direction is there, to by the total radiation coming from the total radiation is basically the radiations of from the antenna in the total solids angle, that is the total in free space. So if I divided it for a particular direction will be coming out, and for a dipole antenna, that is the lambda by 2 dipole antenna, the value is coming 1.64 and it is converted to dB values, so it will come 2.15 dB only. So so imagine for a single dipole antenna can give you only 2.15 dB gain, whereas you require for the satellite communication around 34 dB gain. So how much amount of arraying of this is required for these cases? So this is the challenge of technical challenge for design the practical cases, how many antennas are required for our practical or feasible communication, according to the distance of our two transmitter and the receiver, as well as the path losses, etc. That is called the link budget calculations. And the second term which is also we have to be interested on, and that is called the radiation resistance. Radiation resistance is average from the average power, that is P is equal to I know the I square R, and it is the average is taken care of. So I can say the side changing the pattern, that is P is equal to half of I square R, and therefore R radiation will come as 2 into radiated power by I0, and it is come out 73 ohm. So in case of the dipole antenna, that is a Hertzian dipole antenna, means a lambda by 2 dipole antenna, the radiation resistance is comes as 73 ohms. And also, or if we calculated this radiation resistance for and very small, that is infinite small antenna, that is lambda by more than lambda by less than lambda by 10, that is lambda by 50 or something, it will be less than 1 ohm only. So it's less the amount the radiation resistance will be less enough, and a high the value of I can say that when the lambda by 2, that is the length of the antenna increases, it will come as the radiation resistance is increases. And normally we also know that the wave impedance, that is the free space impedance, is around 377 ohm. Already we have discussed it. That is the ratio of basically E field by H field, and that is eta, that is known as the eta value E by H, and that comes as 377 ohms. So one side of the antenna that is in free space, I can say the impedance is about 377 ohm, whereas your antenna radiation impedance, that is suppose I am taking it as a transmitter cases, or the receiver cases are also the same thing, because that antenna is basically obeying your reciprocity theorem. So this radiation resistance RR, I can say RR is about the 73 ohms. Already we have calculated it. So there is a mismatch. Whenever this is a 37 ohm, this is 370 ohm, so total power cannot be transferred because the impedance mismatch is there. So how it will be good, antenna will be radiated good enough only when I can say it will be very closer to that. for that cases we are basically going to design the folded dipole antenna. Instead of simple dipole antenna, we are going to design some folded dipole antenna. Folded dipole antenna looking like that, and the length is also like that, wave of lambda by 2, or everything is remain the same, but it is a folded like that. Another wire is coming here and it is here, and in that cases the impedance is one of near about 170 ohms like that way. So I can have the more radiation resistance, means the more power transfer can be taken in the free spaces, because it is closer to that. So these antenna are used for the television communication in the previous cases, and normally we are also use basically array of that, and that is called the Yagi-Uda array. In that cases, that is, there is a reflector for nullifying the side lobe, because in any kind of antenna like in dipole antenna, we know that the radiation pattern will be looking like this pattern. So there is a back lobe. So to avoid this back lobe, a metallic path will be putting there. So I have putting this metallic path, and again there is an folded dipole antenna. It is known as a feeder, and around the front side of that there are some front side there are some metallic wire, simple metallic wire is there, and these are called the director. So director are basically making as an array. It will be mounted on some metallic wire, and so that only this this antenna, suppose this antenna radiation field is like that way, I can say this radiation pattern, if like that way, if like initially if like that way, so back side will be cut off, because the presence of this reflector size is normally more than of this dipole antenna. If the dipole antenna length is lambda by 2, if this length is I can say, if this length is I can say of the value of lambda by 2, if this length is a lambda by 2, so this length will be more than of lambda by 2. This length capital L should be more than of lambda by 2, and this director length also, the small l I can say, should be less than of lambda by 2, and it will be gradually decreasing, so that this beam will be more sharper, and ultimately we can get the radiation beam will be, there will be no back lobe level, and the radiation beam will be like that. So the more gain will be there, means the further distance or the more distance we can communicate it. So this is called very famous antenna, is known as the Yagi-Uda antenna. So the basic principle of this there, so how the radiation resistance will be matched with the free space impedance, and it will be more to make the antennas field in more directive. The reflector as well as the director are putting there. So in that case we can say I can say in that case I can say this, in that case this radiation field will be looking like this, and therefore I am saying that for our purpose of the design of any kind of antenna, I have to looking care of one thing is the directivity, that is the gain of the antenna, and how it is radiation resistance, means how it will be matched with our proposed feeding system. So in a nutshell, I can say the directivity of the high dipole antenna, that is the Hertzian dipole antenna, is it will be given as 2.1 dB, and the radiation resistance is 73 ohm. But the dipole antenna resistance, which is a real part of the resistance, is also associated of some imaginary part. To avoid this imaginary part, I have to antenna length should be in such a way so that this imaginary part will be avoided, and normally if it's taken, if the length of the antenna is 0.48 lambda for a very thin diameter of the wire, that is if the diameter of the wire is, that is a metallic wire, is less than of lambda by 10, therefore I can avoid this part of this imaginary part. And because I know that a fitted cable is, there are two standard is available in the market. One is called the European standard, or another is the US standard. The US standard is actually the 50 ohm cable, and Russian standard is most or some of the East European countries are used there 75 ohms. So whatever it may be, we have to be matched with this input impedance also there, so that it will be reduced to 67 ohm and very close to that 50 ohms resistances of this cable. So it will be work more or less it is work, and definitely there are some losses of power due to this mismatch, but it is actually commercially viable to design this kind of antennas. There are more other technique also definitely to match how this matches. There are stump matching technique is there, single stump matching, double stump matching. There are different technique I uses there. I am not going details of that because this is the another topic of the transmission line. So for that cases only we are talking about the how from the antenna end, how we can making the antenna good enough for the matching of these cable purposes. Now we are looking for the length. If the length of the antenna are going to be varies, therefore the current distribution, if the length of the antenna is very small, that is L by lambda is almost equal to 0, means L is very less, therefore the current distribution is almost a triangular pattern. Already we have discussed. Similar way, the lambda by 2, this is a Hertzian dipole, which is our point of interest, is basically half sinusoidal waves, and if the lambda terms, therefore if there are two halves of this sinusoidal waves, and it is a 3 lambda by 2, it will be looking like that. Our point of interest is lambda by 2 antenna, that is we are coming here. And we are talking about that because it will give the moderate value of radiation impedance, as well as the directivity is also good enough. Now we are talking why we are not taking this lambda value, because we also discuss about that if the length of the antenna is going to be increases, therefore we have definitely get the more value of more gain, means the less directivity is high, beamwidth is going to be decreases, ultimately we are achieve the more gain of the antenna, but we are not using it because of the things the real part of the impedance are varying like that. The lambda by 2 is for cases if it is coming as a lambda, therefore in that cases the imaginary part of the impedance in the lambda by 2 it is near about equal comes as a 0, but if it is whenever the value of the lambda, its value is become as an infinite. So to matching this infinite value of this imaginary part of the impedance becomes almost impossible. So the L is equal to lambda means the full wave dipole antenna cannot be physical possible. Understand why I am telling about? Definitely this lambda value will give you mathematically or theoretically it will give the higher gain, but practically it is not acceptable because the impedance is not matched, cannot be matched in practical way, because the imaginary part of that cases become as an infinite pattern, and this is a practical impedance pattern of your today you are familiar to use 4G mobile communication, that is 2.4 to 2.8 gigahertz cases. So how the frequency varying, how the frequency is going to be varying for these lambda by 2 cases of antenna, and the impedance are going to be varying. For 2.4 gigahertz, that is that part of the cases, the I can say this value of imaginary part is almost going to be 0, and this wave impedance that is I can say I can say the radiation impedance is almost equal to 73, or if it is adjust the length of the antenna, that is the 68 ohms, like that way it is comes like that. So this is a practically usable antenna for our practical frequency. If I going to increase the frequency for I can say for Bluetooth communication, that is 6.2 or 6.4 gigahertz cases, there are I have to imaginary part of this part radiation resistance we associated with some imaginary part is some capacitance is value is associated with here. So therefore I have to adjust it due to some matching techniques. There are some antenna are designed definitely these types of antenna means this simple dipole antenna cannot be feasible. For that cases I have to some making some load or the parasitic loaded of the antenna, so that some inductive loaded extra given there to adjust this negative value, that is the capacitive effect, so that it will become as a resonator, because resonance conditions the imaginary part should be 0, and that and the corresponding real part of the impedance I have to be, it is imaginary part is almost acceptable because it is within 75 ohms or like that way. So to match this part of imaginary part I have to be taken care of to given some loading technique, that is called the parasitic loading technique. So matching part of the antenna is a very important part in addition with the radiation pattern, how the radiation pattern will be like that way. Next I am coming here. Yeah, this is the standard matching technique for the dipole antenna or folded dipole antenna, any kind of wire antenna I can say. That is called the balloon, which is basically a quarter wave transformer is there, which is shorted this current or choking this current, so that this is lambda by 4 is a quarter wave transformer, and it is be looking like that. And practically this is a transmission line model of these cases, and this is the diagram of how it is be like that. This is a coaxial cable with a central conductor. Outermost conductor are going to be one part of the dipole, another part of the dipole is going to be outer side of the conductor, and there is a lambda by 4 matching technique, that is shorted dipole is laying there, and it is be looking like that. This is called a balloon. This type of matching transformer is known as a balloon. But this type of matching balloon transformer actually give you the very low bandwidth cases, because in some cases also the normal dipole antenna has very less bandwidth or frequency operation is very limited. Anyway, if due to some loading techniques or some parasitic loaded, we can also increase the bandwidth. If you are going to increase the bandwidth, for their cases this ferrite type of balloon are uses there. In that ferrite balloon we have more or less around 10%, in that case the 4 to 5% bandwidth can be achieved, but here we can show more than 10%, that is 20% or like that bandwidth can be achieved in this ferrite, using this ferrite balloon. Next we have coming how the current distribution changes around an metallic dipole are going to be changes the radiation pattern. Already we have discussed. This is basically the dipole antenna cases, the radiation pattern is there, and this is the cross sections of the 3D pattern, and here I am giving you the value of this radiation pattern for the different value of lambda value. This lambda value changes 0.25 to 1.5 lambda, and also definitely you can say the green value is the 1.5 lambda. Not only the single lobe, there are multi lobe are going there. So the multi lobe means different direction is there, so directivity is definitely going to increase, though beam width is less, but at that time as the beam will radiated in different direction, so therefore the power will be also radiated different direction. So as a whole, if you take the integrations of this pointing vector by the total radiation pattern, your total beam width may not be good enough, so directivity may not be good enough. So the more the length of 1 point lambda is also not acceptable here. For that cases also definitely arraying technique is there. Array also altogether is a different topics. We are definitely coming our next lecture to how the arraying effect to adjust this type of cases, means there are phase and the special distributions or can be adjust this type of problem, can be order handle can this type of problem is there. So lambda by 2 dipole antenna is the most suitable cases as far we are going to there in cases of radiation pattern, beam width or the impedance matching techniques. So that is become a familiar antenna, most familiar cases of lambda by 2 or Hertzian dipole antenna. And there are few questions also going to be arises, how the frequency are going to be our radiation resistance. Already have given this graph in this graph we are going how the frequency varies with this radiation resistance are varying with the frequency. The relationship is actually is coming here, the frequency values, and this is D for the dimension of the antenna or the radiating system. The frequency varies with this like that way. And also in cases when for mobile cell communication, how the antenna will be designed. Definitely our size of the antenna must not be the size of the mobile together. Actually in mobile phone today we are using not the dipole antenna, it is basically a microstrip type of antenna. Anyway, the microstrip antenna in design of the microstrip antenna also it is near the length of this lambda by 2 is there. Basically it is a square patch type of antenna, or the inverted type of antenna is taking like that. For that cases the basic principle of the mathematical analysis are remain the same. Anyway, for that cases also you have to find out the radiation resistance so that it will be matched for the particular frequency of application. So either it is 2.4 gigahertz for our today's 4G communications or Bluetooth like that, or 6.2, we have to, for that case radiation have to be finding out, and according to that we have to design the antenna cases. And also the another thing is that we are talking about the electrical dipole. Why we are not talking about the magnetic dipole? We are not talking magnetic dipole about here because magnetic dipole are radiation power of the radiated power are very less rather than the electrical dipole. So we are avoiding this type of magnetic dipole. We are only using the electrical dipole for our practical communication cases. And these are the relations how we can find out the dimension of the antenna will be dependent upon the frequency and the choice. The frequency must be the sufficiently low so that the dimensions should be matched, and the radiation resistance for the particular frequency, this is omega corresponding to omega value, frequency value corresponding to lambda value, are define the size of the antenna. In the nutshell of our discussion, still now we are talking about this is a radiation resistance. One part is there. In addition, there is LCR circuit for the transmission line cases, because antenna will be fed by a transmission line. So there are some L and R value is there. So as a whole, the radiation resistance as well as this resistance will be the input impedance of the antenna. So radiation resistance plus in this LCR value will giving us the total input impedance of the antenna. Now the radiation resistance, how it is calculated, already we tell that is the physical size of the antenna. It is depend upon the physical size of the antenna, and for the lambda by 2 cases of the antenna, that is the electrical short dipole antenna is not acceptable. Only the Hertzian dipole antenna, where I can say that the physical size of the antenna is the effective length of the antenna, all will become at the same, so that the radiation resistance can be easily calculated. So the radiation resistance with the variations of the propagation constant with the length of the antenna is basically, if it is a good enough, then it will be the ratio should be, the transfer of the power will be good, and so that R by Z, input impedance and the radiation impedance ratio will be changing like that way. And the we can say the wave impedance, how it will be is basically the E, already I am discussed, that E by H, and it is not only the pure 377 ohm already I am taking, but it is actually the intrinsic wave impedance have some imaginary part also, complex part, but the amplitude part we are talking about, we can consider only this mu by epsilon, because these part are very less, because normally we are talking about the very high frequency condition. So that is why for the permittivity value of the free space is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 Henry per Henry, whereas the epsilon values are 8.8 near about into 10 to the power minus 12 farads per meter. So this cases we are putting the value, we have to find out the 370, nearly 377 ohm like that way. So these are the about how the impedance and the radiation pattern and what type of antenna is useful for what communication, almost overview I can able to give to you. And these are the references. Oh, this is a very big references. Anyway, these references are for using for there. Finally, thanking you very much for your interest. Hope you will enjoy this.